Thank you guys for having me in here, in your little space.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for being with us.
I know. I feel so special.
Who should I hand the invisible microphone to? DNA here. To Nikki.
My name's Nikki, and I play guitar in the band.
There's two guitars.
I play one of two guitars.
He's a left-handed.
He's a left-handed
That explains enough. He's cursed.
Yeah, Nikki is our left-handed guitarist, and I am our right-handed guitarist. And I play rhythm, and he plays lead.
What's your name?
It's not important.
Anonymous boy. Okay, I'm Chantel. I play drums.
I'm Ortway, and I emit sounds from my vocal cords.
And my name's BNA, and I play bass.
Alright, so how did you guys all become a band? Like, how did you guys meet and everything?
Well, I guess I could probably answer that one. It's easier. I think Mavis Sera was already an idea that was sort of playing around in my head for a while, and during the pandemic, Chantel, who didn't even know how to play drums at all whatsoever, she decided that she wanted to commit to learning how to play. And in a matter of time, she got her own drum set. She started playing songs that she knew from heart. And I met Tamayo later at a park, just randomly. I think I was walking my dog, and I believe I was wearing a Dark Throne shirt, was it? And Tamayo's a huge fan of black metal, so I guess it was sort of an instant connection when he recognized the shirt that I was wearing, which sounds very cliche, but it is true. I guess sometimes when you wear a band shirt and somebody else sees it, they're just like, whoa, like that guy likes that band too, and start having a conversation. And a band that we both liked, that we had in common, besides like Mayhem and Dark Throne, was Christian Death. And after we talked a lot about music, he came over a few weeks later, and she started jamming with us. So she was on the drums, Tamayo was playing just one sort of rhythm lead guitar, and I was playing the bass. So that's kind of how it started initially. I guess Nikki and I were in a band years before, prior to meeting Tamayo, I wasn't really doing too much music, but years before that, I was in a band with Nikki and Chantel, and she was the bassist. I was doing vocals and I was playing guitar. He was playing rhythm guitar. So I guess we started thinking we needed another guitar. It would sound a lot more whole if we got two guitarists, bassist, and vocals, drums. And so we met up with Nikki and we jammed a few times, and it just immediately clicked. It felt like there was something there and that we should give it a shot. And I didn't know that she played the bass for a while after meeting her. But it turns out that we needed a bassist, and she played a few of her songs and she played them fairly well. And after that, we went to this whole routine of practicing like 4 times a week, and I guess here we are. We feel like there's something special about the sound.
Yeah, one thing I've always found interesting was all of our songs were originally written for just one guitar. So when Nicky came in, he wrote his own parts of the songs, and it really gives a certain element to the sound that wasn't there before. It's a lot more complex than it was originally.
Yeah, it's interesting, like what Toy was saying, me and Chantel and Toy were in a band like around 2017, 2018. So we already had like that chemistry developed. And then once that band broke up, when Toy and Tamayo started jamming, and with Chantel too, they were able to develop their chemistry. So when we all got together, that chemistry was already very solid. which made it a lot easier for all of us to just write songs and make things work. And then B&A kind of just fit right into. So, yeah.
Do you guys think it's easier since you guys are in an original band? And I think you guys only did like one cover. It was like a Smiths cover, the last show.
Oh, no, that was actually a
Something?
joke. Sometimes
I don't know. I'm so confused.
No, sometimes like I find it ironic because we'll play one of our heaviest songs, relatively heavy song, and I just say that's a cover by the Smiths so that people can get excited about it, and then they're waiting for that moment that we start singing like I would go out tonight or something, you know. But then you hear these really heavy, chuggy chords, you know, coming from Tamara's guitar, and it just as soon as the song starts, like I think it would be funny to see people's reaction, just completely confused and bewildered by the whole thing. But it's purely just a joke.
Trying to find out what Smith's song it could possibly be.
That's what I mean. It's like it must be one of the B-sides, you
One of the
know.
messages.
Totally, yeah. No, it's just fucking. Sometimes I say a lot of stupid things on stage. Definitely.
I think that's the point.
Yeah, just because I get nervous too. Like sometimes I don't even know what to say, and it's like I don't really want to face the crowd, so like I'll just say something funny. Sometimes it's not funny.
Where'd you guys get the name from?
I came up with it after reading this text by it was written. I traveled through the Mediterranean coast. No, just kidding. I was reading this text from Carl Jung, and he was talking about how modern art has this mood of destruction, but it must have that mood because of how different things are, modern warfare and all these political issues. And I guess I took the word sinner as some sort of personal interpretation of seeing someone who feels isolated, who feels outcasted, and in a sense is pointed at, as some sort of guilty figure. So it's not necessarily the theological concept of the sinner, but rather something more personal, like feeling like you don't belong anywhere, like you're rejected by people, especially in this society where I've always felt like there are many times where I go somewhere, like even like a bar or a club, and I just feel like I don't belong there. So I thought the mood of a sinner is kind of like a celebration of all the people who simply don't have those means that allow them to adapt in scenarios like parties or school or even a job. It's not evil or like satanic or like a lot of people think that we're into Satanism, and I think it's ironic because it's both. Yeah.
My sister asked me the other day, she's like, do you believe in devil worship? And I'm like, why do you ask that? She's like, do you? And I'm like, Sarah, no. What the fuck?
Yeah, they're both very religious, and I think it's cool that we're able to say that because obviously there's going to be a lot of misinterpretations with the name and a lot of assumptions over, if we worship the devil or not.
Oh, that's why I see Jesus over here.
Yeah, no, like you'll see a lot of the religious imagery in a sense, because I think as a band, I find it beautiful that we're able to capture things that feel like they're evil, but they're not necessarily that way. It's just more of like this dualism of concepts that sort of blended together, and I think that people in general have, this dualistic side to them, and you can't really deny that there's some things that are negative about ourselves.
The shadow side.
Yeah, and like you go back to Carl Jung again, like talking about your shadow self and the persona. And I don't know. I guess there's this whole dichotomy of good and evil that is represented throughout our music, but we don't necessarily pair with one of them individually.
Yeah, I have always seen the name of the band as a reference to how everyone is a sinner, but that shouldn't stop you from trying to be the best that you can be. That's just the way it is. And there's a saying, I forget who it was, but it's every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. You can't let your past stop you from bettering yourself going forward.
what type of genres do you guys describe your band? Because there's like so many different ones that I've seen, from death rock to emo to like other different.
You should tell us. You know the answer to that.
Me?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Didn't you say you were like death disco core the other day?
Maybe like in 2019, but
Yeah.
it's changed
Yeah.
drastically since then.
I mean, I like to call it romantic death rock, but it's not just death rock. You know, I think death rock is like a big chord foundation, sort of. You know, but like, I mean, alternative, disco,
Yeah.
death. I mean, not death metal, black metal. You know.
I've always thought of, death rock is definitely like the basis of our sound, but we throw in this and that
Anything.
all over.
All
Like
of
that's like the
inspirations.
the frame of the word, the framework of the sound is death rock, but it's a lot more than just that.
Like, in your own words, you guys think you can describe the difference between death rock and say death metal?
Definitely, yeah. So death rock is a lot more. See, that's the thing. Is a lot of times when people hear death rock, they say, "Oh, death metal. You guys sound like Cannibal Corpse, right?" No, it's
Like,
far from it. No, death rock is much more akin to. When I think death rock, I immediately think God.
That's what I think so too.
Yeah. So death rock is more akin to, post punk or something like that,
It's
and
like-
death
it's-
metal is, of course, death metal.
I see death rock as goth's closest relative to punk.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty much what I see it as it's the goth offshoot of punk. And of course, I'd say it's closer to punk than post-punk a lot of the time. You know what I
Really?
mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
I do, yeah. Not too strict though, you know what I mean? But
Yeah, I honestly don't know if we're even like strictly a death rock band at all. I
no,
think
yeah, maybe for now.
I think there are some songs that you can say they're death rock, but it's too difficult to categorize our sound because all the songs sound very different to me, at least. I feel like we're sort of exploring what we want to sound like this record, but it doesn't seem like we're gonna have an easy time labeling the record. It's gonna be something that each to their own. Like some people would say that we're death rock, some people would say it's alternative rock or goth rock, and
Or post-punk.
yeah, the post-punk. But I don't know. I feel like it's really unnecessary to try to find labels. Like if you like the record on its own, you don't really have to explain it to others.
I mean,
It's just music, I would just call it rock music to save yourself some breath, and like all of these
Make it easy.
mathematics of,
Yeah.
they're not technically that,
Yeah, it's funny. One thing I always think of when people ask, like, "Oh, what kind of music do you play?" I always say, "Oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that."
Yeah.
oh, someone got mad at me on, because it was like this person that was in a death metal band, and I accidentally said deathcore. He's like, no, it's death metal. I'm like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like a lot of those elitists, they get
Music
offended, and
Nazis.
like a lot of people have said, like, oh, you guys are posers because you're not really death rock, or like you sound nothing like a real death rock
They're like
band.
they're akin to Reddit mods, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
the Reddit
yeah.
moderators have to kind of poke at you with stuff.
Yeah, like I've heard people say, like, like you just sound like the Strokes, like trying to be death rock, right? And then you don't reach that like true, authentic raw sound, and
It's like whatever.
it doesn't really matter, to be
Claiming
honest.
to.
Yeah, we've never really said out there like we're just purely a death rock band, and we're never gonna make any other song that's relatively different.
You'd get pretty bored.
What are you guys looking to accomplish within your new record that you're working on?
I think the record is meant to have an emotional impact on people because we are touching a lot of subjects that are relative with the woes of today, and
So many. Like,
yeah, if you really think about it, like there's a lot of delicate subjects that you are really gonna have to expose yourself to when you listen to this record, and I don't know. I think we really are spilling our guts out, and everything about it is authentic. You know, we're not trying to put on an. I mean, we certainly do put on a show like when we perform, but I think like
That's because like we just love like the
Yeah.
theatrics of it, and we love performing.
yeah, but I do think overall, the fact that we're not using any electronics, the fact that it's all done by people and not machines, and I guess some of the subjects that are discussed to me just feels like it's definitely something that should be relevant within a person's life, no matter if you listen to death rock or country music or jazz core. You know, it doesn't really matter. I think the record's there to speak to people who feel like they're in need of some sort of emotional attention.
Would you guys ever incorporate any electronics like in an industrial type way?
We like discussed it.
Maybe.
I think that'd be really cool.
Maybe someday.
Drum machines.
Yeah, but you know, like I am really proud of the fact that we don't use any of that stuff because.
Or just one song?
Yeah, maybe. But I think it's just I don't know. I think there's some sort of distinction between the goth music that has organic instruments like a real drum set and a real bass guitar. Whereas like now, when you look up goth music, you get that the whole like dark wave movement, which I personally am not really a fan of. I'll admit it's just not really my thing. I feel like most of it sounds like it's recycled and it's very generic in
It's
a
a
sense.
basic formula.
Yeah,
Very.
it's just you have this drum machine with a very monotonous, predictable beat, and then you have it almost sounds like it's always the same singer, with this really low baritone voice, and it's almost like always the same bass notes, and I don't know, I don't feel anything when I listen to that music. It feels very robotic and cold, and it almost feels like, I don't know, like a cash register is making music,
It's like AI.
Yeah. It
generated.
feels like artificial intelligence, and then you watch those guys perform,
And it's
and,
even so
and
boring.
honestly, I
It's the most
think,
boring thing in the world.
yeah, I think it's
Sad.
almost like you're ripping off your audience because you're paying like $20 or $30 to get in to watch a guy like press OK on his computer, and they're playing all these backtracks, and it's like a karaoke
it's
night.
live karaoke,
Yeah, all the music is being played by their computer or a synth or whatever, and they're just singing along to it, and I just feel like it's very soulless. Like I personally don't really support it in any sense, but if other people like it, that's just the way that the music today is. But I think I'm really proud of the fact that we're able to say we're not using any of that stuff.
Even if we do want to take that route, like for example, industrial, which
Yeah.
uses like a lot of like electronic machines, we
Mhm.
would try to like imitate such effects using our instruments.
I think so. I think
That's
that would
a
be
smart
interesting
move.
if we did approach electronic music,
It had to
in
be-
a different way, just sort of, I guess, challenging ourselves to find.
The first thing that came to my mind when you said industrial was, usually for me at least, when I think industrial music, the first thing that comes to mind is the sound of the drums. And I thought maybe we could do something in the studio with, drum triggers on the set,
Mhm.
on the kit, I mean, and have it sound, more industrial.
Yeah. As long as whatever's being played is being played by an actual person.
Even if it's like
Yeah.
a metal pot.
Yeah, like you certainly could make. I feel like that sort of industrial music in the very beginning, it was actually made by like just a lot of just very DIY creative stuff, like hitting a pan or something, and like
Throwing stuff on the ground.
Yeah, just using a bunch of tapes and kind of just cutting them up and adding some delay and reverb and mixing everything up, and then you have this sort of collage of sounds. I think that is really fun and interesting, but the type of music that we're making right now is not very relevant with that genre, even though I do like some of that stuff.
What are you guys' hobbies besides, since you guys are in this band? What do you guys like to do?
Work.
I suddenly forgot what I like to do.
He likes to whip it up in the kitchen.
Yeah, cooking is cool.
I like cooking too.
I like spending time with my dog. Do you guys know what my hobbies are? I recently got into leatherworking, so I guess let's become one. I like clothes, modifications, stuff.
Oh, we love that. That's probably like our hobbies is just
Yeah.
like going to thrift stores and looking for fits and getting dressed up and then putting outfits together. We love to modify clothes and we hope to like modify pieces and like sell them to our fans because we want them to be part of like the Mood of a Sinner universe. And yeah, we love fashion. We spend a lot of time
I like,
cutting stuff up.
I like reading in general. I like drawing. Going on walks is pretty nice too, but I haven't really done much of that. Procrastinate a lot, but when I do, it's very enjoyable.
This fool said work.
Work. I guess. It's my. What do you like to do?
Hobbies of mine. Well, may surprise you, but music is a big hobby of mine. You know, I'm always listening to music. I'm always writing lyrics or songs or whatever. I literally have a guitar on my bed at all times. I'll be laying there in the middle of the night. I'll wake up and I'll have a melody in my head. I'll reach over, just laying there in my bed, playing guitar in the dark. Yeah, I don't have anyone to lay with me in my bed, so I just have my guitar.
No, you don't call anybody up at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and be like, hey, listen to this.
Sometimes, yeah. And then, what's it called? Yeah, I really like reading. I go on walks a lot. Things like that. Yeah.
You know, my friends like first try to get to me, they ask me like, what's your hobbies besides going to concerts and interviewing people? I'm like, drawing? I like to cook. I mean,
We like to party. That's like.
We throw some crazy ragers.
Yeah.
Besides music for me, I really love theology.
You like to study it.
I mean, I play music every day. I don't even consider that a hobby. It's just what I do. You know what I mean?
I could say the same. I can't think of it.
So yeah, and obviously, I mean, I fucking work a lot. That takes a lot of free time out. But besides music and working, I don't know. Theology involves music. I mean, involves all kinds of stuff. Mainly reading though.
He goes to church a lot.
Daily mass. I'm just kidding.
He speaks to God often. So he's always confessing his sins.
has he called back?
Always.
Yeah, every time he plays a show, he has to go confess the next day. So, I was in mood of a sinner.
Sinning.
I guess I'll throw in I also really enjoy philosophy. You know, just reading articles and watching videos and discussions of that sort. I think it's interesting when you engage in discussions that involve rationalizing thoughts and comparing your views with other individuals. I always really find that interesting. Sometimes it can get a little hectic when you find disagreements with other people, but I'm pretty passive, so I do like hearing what other people think about the conditions of the world and the state that we're in.
It sucks. That's all I can say.
Take a look outside.
Wait, can I say my
Yeah, what are your hobbies?
Okay, so my hobbies are gluten-free cooking. I love reselling clothes. I love finding clothes, vintage pieces. I love fashion. I love modifying clothes. What else? I love watching old-ass movies, like 1920s, 1930s movies. I also love like collecting VHS tapes and like watching them on like this little TV my like bestie gave me. I love reading. I love drawing. I love working with metal. I just love doing things with my hands. rituals. Like anything that involves me creating something with my hands, like love it.
How would you guys describe your fashion sense? Because you guys have a very unique style.
Clinically depressed for me.
I would say for myself, I just like being comfortable. Whatever I end up wearing, it's just whatever is comfortable.
I try to stay simple. That's it, really.
he wears a corporate goth look.
Can you repeat your question?
Sure. How would you describe your fashion sense?
Okay, so recently I've been really into like 1920s actresses and their form of dressing, like Victorian style too, like with all the ruffles and like the sheer like fabric and just like the extraness of it. I also love like industrial like fashion, like worn leather and just like big pieces of like metal jewelry, uh, boots, mini skirts, corset tops, blouses. So yeah, like 1920s actress meets Victorian ghosts that died of tuberculosis, crosses. Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails, like in the 90s.
His tuberculosis style.
His tuberculosis style
That era.
specifically.
1993 specifically.
1993, the tuberculosis.
When he didn't
Pandemic.
have kids.
He has kids?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
He's
that.
a total dad now. He wears like cargo.
Khakis.
Yeah, he wears those cargo shorts too.
I want to see him with like the gloves up to here. Like,
Yeah, where did that guy go? You know, he used to be hot.
He retired.
Yeah.
Shanti?
Hating, you guys living the dream.
I'm living in 1993.
Lately it's been black and leather and jewelry on the clothes, I guess. I don't know. Also,
You have like a very
Comfort.
like westerny like style.
dude, not anymore. I don't even want to. That has passed.
Cause, like,
it was a phase,
It
Mom.
was a phase.
It was just a phase, mom. The way I see them, like their styles. So Tammy is like Pachuco goth,
It's like pre-vato vato.
pre-vato vato, where they would wear like the zoot suits. So he has that like Pachuco goth thing going on, and then he has like dark priesty vibes. But recently he says he wants to go for like the corporate goth look. So he's like corporate goth, and then I'm everything I just said. And then she's the heavy metal cowgirl because she did have like a very like westerny vibe to her, but like heavy with like leather and like studs and like metal pieces everywhere.
Yeah.
And then you're Victorian vampire.
I guess so. The vampire of the band.
Okay, you guys have any pre-show rituals?
Doing our makeup, well, for me.
Yeah,
And then we forcefully like have to do their makeup, but it's so much fun.
They're so inept that they just don't know how to do their own makeup.
It's okay, I don't wear makeup at all. Like, I literally don't even know how to do
I'll be
it.
like, Tammy, do you want some lipstick? And he'll be like,
Cherry blossom lipstick,
I
please.
don't mind the makeup, it's just I'm not very good at applying it myself.
Yeah, he needs help with that.
I feel that I never learned how to do makeup either, so it's less work for us. I feel you.
Yeah,
But I mean, I'll put like shit on my lips sometimes, I guess.
it's weird for me because I grew up so sheltered and controlled from my relatives. So it was weird because they were really against my alternative style, but yet they wanted me to wear makeup.
Yeah.
But yet they didn't want me to date. So that's confusing.
I hate controlling people.
Yeah, no,
Not
it
good.
sucks.
but yeah, makeup is definitely one for me. I love the whole ritual of like getting ready and like, cause you're like entering like another, not an ego, like an alter ego, but like a different, like, what's the word? different level. I don't know, but that's my pre-show ritual.
Getting in the Moas.
Get in the moas, exactly. And then he makes us like tinctures with like kava and gives it to us.
Yeah. I guess my pre-ritual, like individually, is just having a few drinks, so I can loosen up and feel like,
Like herbal supplements.
that too. It's like be a cocktail of kava and whiskey and
Skullcap.
ashwagandha